All right. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Time Is Honey. Michael, Robert, how's everybody doing tonight, man? How's everybody's bees, man? How's everybody's bees? Good to see everybody tonight, man. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Excuse me. Guess we'll just open the chat up tonight, man. We'll keep it an open chat tonight. James Noel, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you guys. Yeah, it looks like some of you guys are going to have some more cold weather in Nebraska, it looked like. Who's up in Nebraska area, man? I saw somebody's about to get some really cruddy weather up there. Michigan, James, I think you're about to get some more cold weather too, right? Oh, Bob Walker in the motherfucker. Whoos! Bob Walker.
What's up, man?
Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year to you. Hey, let me get up for a second. I wasn't actually prepping, so let me close this door. Hold on.
He wasn't actually ready.
He wasn't ready. Oh, man. New Year already.
Yeah, 2023. What's everybody got planned for 2023, man? Southeast Tennessee, Three Boys Bees. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Man, we're packing up over here.
Yeah. What time you heading out, Bob?
I've got to work in the morning.
Okay.
So tomorrow is going to be a regular work day. Lee and I are going live tomorrow night. We actually had talked about it earlier. I forgot you did it. We're doing a stream tonight. And we were talking about it earlier. We were saying, well, maybe we should just go tonight because Lee's like, well, after I'm done, I got to tear everything down and load it up to leave out in the morning. So tomorrow will definitely be a short stream, but we're leaving out probably, I don't know, 9:30, 10 o'clock on Wednesday to drive up there, hang out. And,
Lee, what time is Lee leaving?
Lee said he's leaving at 4:30 in the morning.
Dang, man.
He's got to drive 12 hours. But, he normally gets up for work like 3:30 in the morning. So it's like,
his brain is wired.
Yeah.
Don't make that drive. Yeah.
So
Wildwoods says he's going to grow nukes and stuff. Yeah. You got to grow our business slow, man. You can't. I'm 5 years into a business, man. And you know what? It is slow growing. You cannot grow a business overnight. I guarantee it. Unless you're into like crypto and scamming people and stuff, then you could probably grow a business overnight. Maybe.
Well, I'm into crypto, but not scamming people, dude.
Yeah. But I just think about like all those crypto guys that got popped recently, man. Those guys are in a lot of trouble, man. You're talking billions of fake dollars, dude.
Well, to give you an idea, I'm involved with something like that right now, and 2023 makes the 5th year that we've been working to try to get settlements and everything for our investments. So it took 5 years. The lawyer that was appointed by the SEC pretty much milked most of the money out,
Go figure.
So
go figure.
The
milkman milking out all the money.
Yep. So that's the thing. But yeah, man, just getting ready. So tomorrow's going to be a hectic day because you're going to be like making that list and checking it twice, right? To make sure, hey, I'm not forgetting the box of business cards I bought. And, not forgetting the GoPro, not forgetting this, not forgetting that.
Yeah.
And then, once you get there, I've got 5 vendors that are carrying my product, right? So I'm going to be trying to float between them, trying to make sure they got enough. And if somebody wants to talk about the product, then I can talk about it,
You know what's really cool about something like that? I mean, social media works so quick nowadays. Everybody's going to be right there. It's going to be awesome, man. You guys are going to have so much fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fast and furious.
Yeah, it is. How are you going? You're going all 3 days, right?
Yeah. So I'm leaving tomorrow. There's nothing or Wednesday. There's nothing happening on Wednesday, really. Just a bunch of us that are in the chat that are going to be up there on Wednesday are going to try to get together and go to dinner or whatever. and hang out, and then Thursday is, I guess, when all of the vendors start moving in their stuff. So maybe I can sneak in with one of those guys to help them get set up, or Ricky or somebody like that can just vouch for me. Yeah, he's with me.
Yeah.
And Lisa got a ticket. You know what I mean? So, something like that maybe, and then
I don't see why not, especially if you're going to be there as like a vendor, selling your product.
Well, see, that's the whole thing. Technically, I'm not a vendor personally.
Oh, okay.
My vendors are there selling, right?
All right.
My product is there at the vendors,
okay,
at different vendors. So, that's going to be interesting. I've been looking at a few different things. Always looking for that expansion. What's going on. So,
did you rent your 80-foot trailer to get all this? Take home all your stuff?
No, dude.
You can find one, huh?
Yeah, I'm planning to have a good time. That's going to be the.
How you doing, Phil, in that corner?
So we're going to see. We're going to see what's going to happen. I know for a fact I've got 14. When I say cases, I mean this 14 boxes, right?
Yeah.
Up
well,
there.
There's 10 packs.
That's a 12 pack.
The 12 packs. Okay.
Yeah. So
144. You're taking 12 cases with you.
No. They're already there or going there. With Hilco has 12 boxes of these, right? And he's got bullets, and Bohemia Bee's got a couple boxes and some bullets. And I'm taking some up there for Hidden Hollow Honey, for Dirt Rooster, and the rest of them I'm going to keep at Ricky's booth with me. And that way I can refill people if I need to.
Yeah.
Sell it to them on the spot. Maybe, who knows? Maybe Texas Bee Supply is going to be there. Maybe I can, hey, here's my card. Here's my product.
Pop's going to be up there slinging his product.
I'm going to be like the dope dealer, bro.
I was going to be,
open up my jacket and have all those bottles just hanging inside of there.
Like on Coming to America, he opens up his goes, oh, you want to buy some? It's like all his blow dryers.
Watches and
his gold blow dryer. Oh, man.
So nuke prices. Yeah, nuke prices are, depends what they're getting. If they're getting a bottom board and lid, you could probably charge a little bit more, but it's all about how much time you have, you're going to have invested into making that product. I think that's what it comes down to for me. It's got to be something.
Nukes from Texas. Sorry, go ahead, Bob.
No, if you're perfecting or trying to put a product out, there's a couple things. Well, I'm like you, Grayson. I don't have this company, right? I don't have a lot of people, right? And so if I don't have a bunch of people working for me, it's got to be something that I can make. And if somebody wants 10 of them, then I can turn them around pretty quick, right? At least in my situation.
There's your nuke prices in Texas, man.
Wow.
$300 a nuke, man. Unmarked Texas 5,000. Golden Cordovan unmarked 269.
So Texas 5,000 is basically the Texas mutt bee, right?
From what I understand, no, Texas 5,000. These are your firecrackers right here. These are I called Texas Bee Supply to get info on them. They said the Texas 5,000 are usually going to be more geared towards commercial, right? The Golden Cordovan, she said, these ones are a little bit more gentler. So they said the first year you get these, they're small, but when they come out after that first year, they get really big really fast. So that's the difference between the Texas 5,000 and the Golden Cordovan. That's what they told me at Texas Bee Supply. Yeah, this is you guys, this is what I don't get. This is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I get the work that these guys do, but $300 for a nuke, dude, that's crazy. I'm sorry.
That's $100 more than. Well, no, not $100. Well, that $294 is about $100 more.
Yeah.
They're charging basically $25 to mark a queen.
Yeah.
because that's time, right? They got to go through the whole colony.
Yep.
They got to find the queen, catch her, mark her, let her dry, put her back in.
Yeah.
I
found my queen on the ground when I was getting ready to wrap up the hive and move it. She was on the ground.
Oh yeah, that's I've seen. Well, you saw I had one like that this last week. So
yeah, Texas,
it's crazy.
Yeah, Texas bee supply, man, they run pretty high on prices, man. I mean, here's a box, $400, man.
Okay, so you know what that tells me is they're more. That's people. Hey, you're driving in to get something, and I need a box, right?
Yeah,
and it's like, hey, I gotta have it, so here it is.
Yeah.
You know, and so I mean, I kind of get it, a little bit, but because that goes back to you have to have. This is the whole thing. This is why my swarm lure was priced the way it was.
Yeah.
It's because those stores have to be able to make a profit to stay in business.
Yeah.
Right. So if they're not generating a profit, they have to up those prices up to be able to sell them. The problem is it's hard to move the price back down.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to buy bees from him, but I was like, no, I'm not going to.
How much?
Package $195.
That's what we're selling nukes for, dude.
$195?
Yeah. Man. No. Yeah. We're selling nukes for $200 here.
See, that's what I'd ultimately like to do too. Eventually, when I get my hive, my yard up to strength, and sell nukes to veterans for $195, man. Straight up, box and all, $195, man.
Yeah, that I mean, that's high, bro.
For a package.
Well, packages here are like $135.
Okay.
I mean, but I've never bought a package.
Yeah.
Never bought a package, so I've only ever bought nukes. So, you know, who knows? Maybe I don't know that I don't need to buy bees, bro. I need to make my queens. That's what I need, and then I can
Amir.
I want.
How you doing, Amir? Welcome to the
chat.
I
shared you out on my channel, so you probably get some people. Hey, Amir.
Right hey, Amir.
Amir's my buddy from across town for me.
Right on. Welcome to the chat, Amir. We're just talking about bee prices and how crazy Texas bee supply prices are for a nuke. $300.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Well, here's the thing. Now they might have to buy those from somebody else. They're probably not. They probably have a greater supply than they have. I mean, a greater demand than they have a supply.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the thing is, you could go and find like wood somewhere. Like you could go find wood, build your own nukes, and then split your bees off, and like you wouldn't even really be paying anything except the time you put in your bees. Hey, Hanley's Homestead, good to see you. Welcome to the chat this evening.
Well,
fucking bee prices.
I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing, though. I mean, you are more patient than I am. I mean, the fact that several times this year, you and I have had conversation. I'm like, have you caught a swarm? And you're like, nope, not yet. And I'm like, dude, just go buy some bees. Hell, your mentor said he'd give you some bees. Just go get them. And you're like, nope, I want to do it this way. And I applaud you for that because I don't have that. I'm like, I want them, you know, and I just go get them.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. What I was really happy about, like, dude, my stock made it through that cold snap, man. They made it.
So that was... Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm choking up here. I was watching an old video from the University of Gelf out of Canada.
Yeah.
And they had, they basically they went around the yard and shook 5 frames of bees out of their colonies into a box, like a big box that was screened. It looked like a big package, basically.
Yeah.
And they did that, and then they popped the top off, and he sprayed them down with water. And he took one of them big measuring cups, got a cup and a half of bees, and dumped it in his mating nuke, his little plastic or styrofoam mating nuke.
Yeah.
And then he had a little assembly line. He dumped them in. The next guy banged them on the table and sealed the lid on it, banged them over, and passed it down. The next lady put some syrup in the little feeder, and the next lady dropped a queen cell in it. And
Dunzos.
Done. Yep. Come back 2 weeks later. He said they should have a mated queen in them. And
pronounced Guelph A. LaGrange B's. Good to see you.
Okay.
See ya. I just saw you there, man. Just saw you. Sorry, man. How you doing this evening, LaGrange?
And
pronounced Guelph.
And that was the so I'm like, and they're doing them in the little boxes, but he says when they come through, like after they harvest the queen out of it, like they'll come around after 2 weeks, harvest, mark the queen, put her in a cage, and then he puts 5 attendant bees in there.
Yeah.
And puts the candy in it, and then they just introduce them to another colony.
Yeah.
And make their splits or whatever they're going to do like that. But he said they rotate like they take a frame off of another colony and one of those maiden nukes. I got to go back and watch it. I was kind of getting ready to go do something. The queen price. What's the queen prices this year?
$40 Texas Bee Supply.
Yeah, that's $40 before shipping. So if they ship, then you're gonna have to pay the shipping and all.
Hey, J&D's Bees, good to see you. Welcome to the chat. Welcome. Looks like everybody's. Who's all going to Hive Life? Bob, we know you are. We know Bobby is. LaGrange, are you going? DC?
No, LaGrange is in Canada, right? So he might go though.
Okay.
There are some people from Canada going.
Okay. Yeah, we know. I know Wildwoods going.
And
who else is going? Just a handful, huh? University of Guelph and fairly close, but it's still a 7-hour drive. Yo, Mike, Minnesota in the house. Minnesota Mike in the house. How you doing, Mike?
I don't see your camera, bro.
Happy New Year.
How you host the show with the icon?
Huh? I'm right here.
No, you're not.
Oh, we can't see you.
I'll be back on camera in just a second.
Yeah. He's getting naked.
Yeah. Maybe I don't want you guys to see what I'm doing. No. No, I'm here with you guys, man. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, guys.
What's going on, man?
We're getting ready for some good snow.
Y'all gonna get some more snow up there?
Yeah, it's not going to be that much. I think we're getting about 9 inches. So
that's what she said. I think I'm getting about 9 inches.
That's not 9 inches. I know you guys I was just saying you guys are about to get some cold weather up there. Nebraska, I think, is about to get hit kind of hard too with some cold weather. I think that's like one of the hardest hit states. Just watching the weather.
Well, this isn't cold weather for us.
Yeah, no, it's just snow.
It's just snowy.
Yeah.
The thing that's going to get about it, though, is it's going to be a wet, heavy snow because we're going to be in the low 30s. And that can be.
Yeah, it's 70. It was almost 80 degrees here today in Texas. And it's going to be 75 the rest of the week. So we've been having really good, favorable weather. 40-degree nights. Real nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be 70 today for us.
Thinking why did I log on and get razzed? No, I've been missing what's been going on in Wyoming here. I've been down there. I don't know if it's snow and cold weather or what's going on there. Actually, I always have those Christmas lights on in the cabin here. They're hanging from the rafters along with all of my fishing rods.
Hey, you've been doing this a while.
I like his Christmas lights.
Mike, you've been doing this beekeeping thing for a minute. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard of a pollen sub called feed bee out of Canada? Well, Canada, I know they carry it in Canada. I haven't seen it in the States.
Well, that's not that's not ringing a bell in any shape or form.
So I found a pollen sub for what you pay for Ultra Bee. This feed bee you get 4 more pounds for a little bit less. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, when you look at advertising, right? The like their advert page, it's going to show, that thing. So,
do they list the ingredients?
Well, they do a little bit. I think if you scroll down, there's a
Oh, that's plant section pathology.
they have the breakdown of one of them has the nutrition or whatever. I think
that's what I'm looking for.
it might even be on the main page there.
Okay.
When you scroll down, I think it said that it's got all these different amino acids and vitamins and stuff in it.
Yeah, but I'm wondering what the ingredients are.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I don't want to scroll.
None of them say that, right? Because they kind of leave it like a proprietary thing where they,
yeah, most of them do, but I mean,
it's let's see, soy-based diets. See, when my mentor makes his pollen patties, he uses soy flour or soy meal.
Yeah, but he puts other stuff in it too.
Yeah, he'll cut it. Yeah, he'll put other cutters in it. Yeah, for sure.
And I kind of went down this rabbit hole because I watched Earl's, and I, to be honest with you, to be fair, I didn't see Houston's video on the wheat flour or the bread flour they're using for pollen sub, but I did look at like what's in that flour, and it does have like 12% protein in the flour, which is better than no percent protein, but I don't think that has any substantial like a list. It doesn't have like the amino acids and all that in it. So I'm just wondering in watching that video what the long-term effect on the bee is. Like, are they going to get diarrhea or what? I don't know. I'm interested to see how that goes.
It's made in Canada.
That is, I know it's sold in Canada.
Sold in Canada. Okay.
And in Europe they use it.
Yeah.
It's a Euro. Okay, so yeah, it's a Canadian number. There
you go. Does anybody remember what Ian Stepler's
there's our Facebook page
was? I think it was finely ground corn, brewer's yeast. I think some soy in there.
I know he uses the apis in there in his.
No. This is just the pollen sub recipe. Just recipe sub. He did see Cayman's bees running all to a corn crib in the fall, and he actually wrote to Cayman and said, "What kind of corn is that?" So he might even be using some fine, proprietary, like old school organic corn, what have you. Yeah. So,
but yeah, the cook's not going to tell you his recipe, man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that way everybody don't just go buy the raw.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm that guy.
Right here, feed bee is an alternative feed diet for honeybees. Feed bee is comparable with high quality pollen. Feed bee contains 36.4% protein, 3.9% fat, 41% carbs, 10% naturally occurring sugar, 3.1% minerals. Okay, but the specifics is what I'm curious about. What occurring sugars, the proteins, the minerals, the fats, carbs. That's
well, see, that right there says, like number 8 says, to prevent or cure nosema infested colonies before or after disease outbreak.
Yep.
So I wonder if it's got thymol in it.
I don't know. See, that's what I'm, because the guys that in Canada, Dancing Bee, said that I can buy any of their products wholesale for my website.
Nice.
And I am looking at something like that because I learned apologize.
Let's check out this video they have.
Tim from Southwest Ohio Bees told me they're not going to have those global patties available for sale at the show. They were just pre-order only, and I didn't pre-order because I didn't know I was going to be going until late, right?
So this is beekeeping. What's up, man? Good to see you. Welcome to the chat.
That's that was one of those things, and mine stay on that pollen sub right now. So if they're taking the Ultra Bee, and Ultra Bee is like what 60%, and they say like 59 or something % protein on the bag, and they use it.
Huh. Okay.
So I mean, again, if I see them on my chicken scratch, I go ahead and put pollen sub out for them because pollen sub has more protein in it. And this time of year, I've actually seen somebody take protein powder, like whey powder, and put it out, and they've hit it.
Dude, John told me that, Bob, that you can actually use like whey powder and stuff like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that was the other ingredient that was in there.
Yeah, he'll use you can use it as a supplement.
Yeah,
it's like a cutter almost, They'll go for
it. I think the Premier Foundation was also pre-order only. Russell Koopman's on his way down there, and it seems to me he ordered a bunch.
Sean Bouteris is already there. He went to visit. Sean Bouteris that comes into the live stream all the time. He's already there. He went down to visit his son and then going over.
What's his handle?
Sean Bouteris, SBOUT Bouteris.
Man, why isn't that ringing a bell to me right now? I know I got up at 3, but that's no excuse.
You've seen him in the chat, probably.
Yeah, I'm sure. See, I've got a little side note of some scientific interest. I was watching something on, I think it was Bloomberg Science or something.
Mm-hmm.
And they had these guys working with, I don't know, government, I forget who is, like FDA or whatever. And they found out that they purposely put some nicotinoids in a hive at a level that was so low that they couldn't normally detect them. The only way they knew it was in there because they put them in. And what they found is a rule of thumb that the more nicotinoids that your hives are exposed to, the higher chances of brood diseases are. And they specifically mentioned nosema, but there were several other ones too. So not only does nicotinoids just absolutely screw up the bee's sense of direction, but it actually apparently contributes to some type of collapse in the system that allows nosema and so on.
Wait, isn't nicotinoids like crap they put in cigarettes, man?
No, neonicotinoids is what they use in like spraying crops and stuff.
It's a pesticide that's widely used but was never approved. Never.
Okay. It's one of those really nasty pesticides.
Yeah, it's used all over the doggone place, and how it's being allowed to put in a food or into the environment is just beyond the pale.
What was that other one ridiculous. Like back in the 70s? They were putting the environment that was real bad, as like D2 or something like that, or D12.
Yeah, actually DDT had
DDT is DDT.
Harm. Yeah, DDT did less harm. Actually.
Agent Orange.
Yeah, Agent Orange.
Agent Orange, that's a separate thing. Yeah,
that's defoliant.
But I was just curious if you were just talking about the brood disease here on the feed bag, saying that would help with that. So we just really just had to bring that up. I just saw that last night.
I might order a bag of that. That's what I was thinking, to try it out. But when you're buying 50 pounds of something, I'm the kind of guy that I'm going to use it all the way until it's gone before I buy another one. I'm not going to have like 2 or 3 different pollen subs out.
DDT worked great. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Hey, we used to follow the truck.
Actually, it did. It really did. It did mess up, though. It killed pretty much any insect. But the beauty of it is you could spray it on side of like a grass hut that didn't have screens on it. It would keep the mosquitoes out. So you didn't do a broadcast spray of the stuff. And they did do broadcast sprays, but a limited use. But somebody put a clues beekeeping pesticides for industrial crops. That's the problem, because you let some of the stuff loose, and anybody has a sprayer all of a sudden starts letting it loose. And I'm not saying it does good in the fields itself, but anyways,
tiny scar-faced bees covered in flour cocaine. Yeah,
I like that.
That's true, man. They will when they hit that pollen sub. It's funny because the pollen sub out of the bag is like really fine powder, right? And by the time when you put it in, like in my bucket, when I put it in my bucket and then tip it over, then the bees start working it, and you'll see a bunch of little balls of pollen sub that are. It's like as they work it, they're actually making balls of pollen sub that are just like laying in the bottom of the bucket. It's kind of neat.
Oh yeah, okay. So they try to roll it on, and then some of them break loose. Yeah,
I don't know. It's just bunches of balls of pollen sub.
Yeah, I've seen that too. It's really kind of weird because usually at a certain humidity level, and I can't remember what it is, but I know that when they do try to pack it on, because there's so many fighting over it, they'll knock one another's baskets off. So maybe that
could be it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows? These crazy little bees in a box.
Yeah, they're a lot crazy. Okay, so Bob, you're taking off tomorrow?
Wednesday. Yeah. I got to work tomorrow, so.
Lee's taking off tomorrow, you said, right?
No, he's leaving at like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday and driving 12 hours up there, 12 and a half hours. He's figuring 12 and a half hours with breaks and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's a good drive.
Is
Hillbilly going too?
He is going.
Nice.
I messaged him the other day to invite him to dinner and all when we go.
Yeah, nice, man. That'll be a lot of fun, man.
He didn't
answer. Is it gonna be cruddy weather like it was last year? Or are you guys gonna have like some?
I think it's gonna be in the 50s during the day and 30s at night, and I think it's supposed to rain a couple days or something like that.
Yeah, tomorrow's gonna rain in Nashville pretty much all day. They're expecting just over an inch of rain.
All right.
Aside from that, and then I think it's going to be in the, I think it was in the 50s.
Yeah, 50s during the day. Yeah,
I remember last year it was like real cold, just not favorable weather last year.
I did. I lost a couple that I didn't think were going to make it to begin with because they were kind of weak, and then the cold snap just helped them out.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I didn't though. No, I have the one hive and that's it. And they're doing just fine, man.
Yeah, I'm off the wagon there, JNDs, Bs. I am off the wagon.
It happens, man. It's a tough one to kick, man.
Clueless has got a great question that Troy and I have been laughing over actually quite a bit. Anybody lose any hives during the cold snap?
Yeah, that's what I'm catching about.
Yeah, probably not. Okay, you guys got to what, 6-8 degrees for 48 hours or something like that?
I did lose a couple that were weak already.
That was my point. Yeah, if you get the really weak ones, yeah, that'll do it. But otherwise, get back to me when you've got 20 below for like 30 days.
Yeah,
right. And that's the worst thing that I've seen though. It's Bob. Let's see what you guys think of this.
I didn't equalize my colonies, but I did. I don't know if you saw the other day, Mike. I broke down that really tall hive I had and took honey.
You did do that. What'd you do with it?
I took all the honey supers off, and then all of my regular single deeps that I had. I went ahead and dropped the medium super off of them onto the other ones.
Okay.
To condense that one colony down, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now it's just a brood box and a medium. So pretty much everything's got a brood box and one medium. There are a couple that got two just because I didn't want to harvest honey. I left them on there. But yeah, I started compressing them and any single ones because I don't want that late season. Sometimes we get cold, 1st of January and end of January, 1st of February-ish. So I just went ahead and split out that honey and left everybody a fresh box of honey on top of them. So
there you go.
Chances of them freezing out are lower,
Clueless, yeah. I'm just south of you in San Antonio, man. We're good weather down here, man.
So I wrapped his weak nukes in his house.
I know.
Hey, I'm inside.
If you have a porch you can keep cold enough, you can definitely do that. Or if you just want to lock them in for 48 hours or something like that, and try and keep that room as cool as possible, by all means. But I would encourage everybody to do two things: build yourself a crap load of double screen boards, keep them on hand, and then the other part of it is, put some of that pink pink. What's it?
Polystyrene?
Not styrofoam. It might be polystyrene. Go ahead and put that on the top of the hive. It's that will actually, people are talking about condensation in your hives.
Burlap too.
The number one thing we run into is that if your upper lid is not insulated well enough, you are going to get condensation on it. And another way to get around that is that right below your lid, over the inner cover, or actually below the inner cover, go ahead and put some Built-Right in there. Remember that old stuff that they used to use for sheathing?
Right.
It's basically a chewed up. If you put that in, we use that a lot, by the way. So we'll put that up there, even if we do have, and the moisture will just get sucked up into that and distributed. It's a short-term solution, but it's really for what everybody else is dealing with down there.
Hanley said northern bees are just tougher.
The sugar shim I have on
No, the Norwegians are the bees.
Hey, they might be tougher in the winter, but you bring them bad boys down here in the summer, and they wilt like flowers.
I can't handle the heat.
The sugar shim that I have on my box, what it does, it absorbs the moisture too, and it softens it up. I don't know if you guys use sugar shims. My mentor helped me build one. And
well, I use sugar blocks, but you know.
Yeah, this is an actual. It's measured out to the dimensions of the box, and then it's just you pack the sugar on top of it, real tight. Put a few holes, and then the bees they can travel up and down into the shim.
Yeah, the mountain cap moisture absorption. Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so the condensation goes to the lid and drips back down onto the sugar. The sugar liquefies a little bit, and then it dries out and hardens.
Softens it up. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can take that sugar later on and break it up and actually make that into your
sugar. Drop it into a bucket and make some syrup.
Yeah.
But the other thing that will really mess with people is that if you have a weak hive and if you have one of those upper entrances, I mean, right on the very top, you're losing your heat dome and you are going to get condensation up there. If you're going to try and do some type of venting on a hive, drill a hole in your second super and put one of those disc wheels on.
Smash that light.
That much of a heat dome on top, and you won't get the condensation nearly as much.
Yeah,
people say, well, Michael Palmer does the complete upper entrances. Well, the reason he does is he gets 4 or 5 feet of snow.
Right. The only way they can get out is through the top.
Yeah. And even in that case, his hives are just so well insulated by the powder. So
it's called mountain camp feeding. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, mountain camp feeding.
Okay.
Mountain camp feeding is pretty much just putting down like a paper towel or something and then pouring dry sugar on it. And it'll do the same thing. It'll just collect the moisture and harden into a brick.
I poured water out of one side of my outside frame. That's something else. Make sure all your hives are leaning about 5-7 degrees towards the entrance. You know,
5 to 7. Okay.
You know, I think here some moisture in the colony in the winter is not a bad thing. You don't want to drip it on the brood, obviously, but they still need water.
Oh, yeah. So that's what we do.
You know, so they do drink it, but.
Yo, Texas beekeeper in the house.
Blaine,
really?
I've been catching up on
there we go.
Yo,
hey,
Tex.
I might need to call you, Blaine, about I was watching your what's this CC Miller split method.
What was that?
Hey, I'll pull it up. Let's take a peek. Can we pull it up, Tex?
It's a whole series that he's got. And CC Miller split. And if you Google that, if you search that, and it's going to give you only his videos. He's the only one that's got it out there. It's a lot of work from what I see because you're moving colonies, right? You got to shift colony location spots.
Okay, really?
And then I was doing after Charlie's live stream, I was looking at the rolling Demarys.
What's it called, Bob?
CC Miller split. And it's a process, but he went from
wow. I see what he's doing. Okay.
And he went from a like double digit, like teens to like 50 or something like that. And I might be misquoting the number of colonies, but using that method, he was able to just continuously keep splitting and having brood. I do like I like the Demarys, but the rolling Demarys or rotating Demarys that they were talking about the other night.
Yo, Lee in the house. How you doing,
that
Lee?
seems like a lot of work. A lot of work. So
let's take a peek. Let's watch one of his videos. Let's see what he's doing.
With the rotating Demarys, they're basically constantly, as they hatch out of the top, they're taking those frames and putting them back in the bottom. And
I use pizza board on top of my hives for the Italians.
To make sure they feel at home all winter.
Let's take a peek here. All right, Tex, let's see what you're doing, man. Let's take a peek here, brother. Hit that like and subscribe on Texas Beekeeper too, by the way, yo. Give him a smashing subscribe.
Oh, I'd love to know what Tex, whatever happened to your 2 queen hive too.
This isn't in order, so let's see.
Okay, y'all bear with me. This is it's my first time recording while going into the hives.
Go ahead and slightly speed the video up there. Okay, it's got the propolis trap up there. That's wonderful. Oh, it is. Oh, okay. Okay, so the 1 queen. Okay, thanks, Tex.
You're brave, Tex. I would never work bees.
This box probably most likely just some comb.
No way.
Unless the queen.
What are you talking about?
I'll never work bees without a suit, dude. I can't. My olive won't do it. Not here.
Laying some brood.
Oh,
You're brave. I give it to you, Tex. You're brave, dude.
well, he might not put up with any of the mean hives too. Just call those bastards.
They're drawing some burr comb on the bottom there.
The best. It kind of explains the process more.
Yeah.
The introduction episode.
That's the one you're on right now, I think.
There's some old
Episode 1.
frames that screen.
Nah, this is day 1, episode 1.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay. Nice.
You
Okay.
can find the introduction there.
On.
Oh, Tex, man, I wish you had a camera there. I'd love to have you come on and explain this stuff in person.
Stores.
But
Same there.
He's the only one that I've seen on YouTube that had this video out on this process.
really,
But it basically uses 2 colonies, and you rotate the positions of the colonies.
So that's pretty much for up here. So now what I'm going to do is move this one off to the side. Hopefully, if I put it here, it won't be in the way of the camera. If so, I apologize.
So he's got a camera, but his internet stinks.
Kind of is in a way. Bear with me, folks. Like I said, this is my first time on.
I'm not
doing
a
this, so.
Detroit fan.
When I play one on YouTube.
Oh my, oh my.
There, how's that? Hopefully now we can all see.
Fly back if smaller be a boost.
If I can find some comb, I'll capture it.
So, Texas, how many colonies did you go from into using this process this
Hey,
year?
Brian. How you doing tonight, man? Welcome to the chat. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you dropping in. Good to see you. Happy New Year.
You've got how many viewers right now? 18.
19.
Yay! Why don't you see if you can find that introduction that he thinks is better? It must be right before this one.
Yeah, I'm curious, what the process. I'm trying to.
He went from 12 to 44 in
really?
1 year using this process.
Now, I wonder how many of those queens were actually really strongly mated.
17 clueless.
I'm not doubting at all. I'm just trying to ask a lot of questions. 8 were participating in the CC. Oh, okay. Okay. I read about this thing 7-8 years ago, and I've never dabbled with it. It's kind
What's
of
it called? The CC Miller split?
Yeah.
CC Miller split.
Yeah, it's I think it's right out of the book if I remember right. It's like 50 years amongst the bees or something like that.
CC Miller split.
Uh,
Let's see here. It's 9.
So right now, Texas, you are the official voice of the CC Miller split.
Yeah. Yep, you sure are.
So
congratulations there.
You are the expert.
Well, here's CC Miller. Let's take a. He's a commercial beekeeper, specialized in honeycomb production, originally a physician, but gave up the profession to keep bees and write about beekeeping. Makes sense.
It's a really interesting fellow.
That makes sense. I mean, if you think about it, man, those guys were smart, man.
Yeah, and
Of course, they didn't have Varroa to deal with, or tracheal mites, or probably hive beetles. They didn't have any of that to deal with.
Yeah, no kidding. You're the only one that's got this method out here, Tex. You really are. Look, you're on the top page of Google, bro. Right there is your channel. Bam, right top page of Google, man. So you're the only one.
I got to find that book again and go through that. It just
50 years with the bees.
Yeah, it's just bothering me that I don't remember what the heck the split methodology is. And I watched your video too, Tex, so I apologize.
That's pretty cool. So you went from 12 to 44.
Yeah, if somebody could just briefly explain what it is rather than watching the video.
Well,
You take your 2 strongest hives. Okay, he's got it right here. You take your 2 strongest hives, right here. You take your 2 strongest hives. Bam.
One will donate its location for the field force, the hive that you move. Yep. Okay. Then you move brood frames from the starter. He's typing. I can just hear him typing like a man. Get it out of there, and I guess you're just continuously doing a starter colony. But I wonder if it's something that if you
just look at the brood frames, put those in starter calls, and that's the time you're taking. Yeah, I bet he's fiercely typing.
Every 9 days. He's got the answer up over after that one.
Maneuvering.
Rich.
What's that?
Put the next comment up on the screen.
Oh yeah, there we go. Sorry.
Oh my gosh. Okay, second problem is hive location. 288 bottles of mead. I think so. We should write a song about that.
You take broods from neighboring colonies every 9 days and put into those starter colonies. At that time.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I have seen this done.
So you take 2 strongest hives, one brood starter, have the other will.
Is there any other name for it? I mean, is there like they call it something else?
When you say it, field force, so do you separate you're separating these yards, correct?
No. Well, so if you got 2 colonies, right?
There we go.
You're putting the new colony where the old one was, so all of the foragers are coming back to the same location.
Yeah. We've got a guy that does that here, but he just takes instead of moving it to another yard, he literally just puts the one in front of the other one. So all the foragers go to that, which is really kind of funny to watch, actually.
Is that, DCPs? So you're refeeding the colony with field force.
Yeah, so the foragers are constantly coming back to the new colony, right? So they have an established colony, but they go out and forage, and then you're moving it, and they're coming back to the same location, but it's new equipment there. So
you're just swapping frames, though, right? You're just taking frames.
So you're only taking a frame or 2 from donor colonies. That keeps them strong, so you can still get a honey crop.
Oh, that was the difference in making that. Okay. Oh yeah, that's cool.
So I think I'm going to try to do some of these things with nukes. Using 5-frame nukes instead of 10-frame colonies.
Yeah.
The principle's the same, right? Mm-hmm. It would still be the same principle. So even like a Demarys, if you take a 5-frame nucleus colony that's packed out, and you take 1 frame down and put a nuke in between it and pop another one on. Pop that box on top. They're still having to do the whole process, but it's on a smaller scale. So
your 2 strongest. So separate fields.
Okay, I got to go back and watch. By the way,
I'll read out the comment if you want.
Growing natural, also in the American Bee Journal, I believe they go through the same thing. Dr. C.C. Miller. Breeder colony, queen cell buildup colony, brood, deep frame, several mating nukes, some optional versions. I'll put up a link to that in case anybody does want to look that thing up.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, let me go ahead and post Texas link in here.
There we go.
Yeah, let me post Texas link in here.
That's up there. Clueless. Yeah, we do graft here. Troy is pretty doggone good at it too. In fact, I just bought him. Bob, please correct me on this because it's not Perico. It's who makes that grafting tool, the really nice brass one. Starts with a P. Premier, Perico.
Pierce, I think.
I think it's Pierce. Yeah. So.
How do you like it? Have you seen that? Have you used it? I mean,
you guys have seen my videos. My hands are not steady enough to do that. This is what Troy does. I wish I could take absolute credit for that, Bob, but I can't do it physically. I can't do it. But,
so my thought at this point, what I'm going to do when I start my splits and all, I'm going to go through my colonies. First off, I'm going to take a pro nuke and I'm going to shake a ton of bees into my pro nuke from all my colonies. Just shake bees, right?
Tex. Sorry, Bob.
He ran
When
out.
you quit because you run out of equipment, God bless. So, anyways, I'm sorry, Pierce.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to go through my colonies. I'm going to shake a bunch of bees into this pro nuke, right?
Yeah.
And use them as my donors. And then I think I'm just going to do it, man. I'm going to start off and do one frame of brood and some, obviously they're going to have some bees on it, but then I'm going to divide up the other bees and drop a queen cell in my 2 framers and let them hatch out and go mate. I've never used the German grafting tool. I've never used any grafting tool, to be honest with you, but Cayman uses the German grafting tool.
Yeah, that's basically a dental pick, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like a dental pick.
Huh.
I just don't want my business to rely on my first year grafting, right? So I will graft, but I'm gonna graft after I get started.
Yeah.
I know, right? When you're running out of gear, you're doing something right.
So,
And I'm gonna pull all of those, hopefully, off my nucleus row. Those colonies. That's gonna be my donor colonies, and that way I don't have to mess with my big honey production colonies as much.
oh, speaking of production here, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this up. You were talking about doing frame equalizations, moving food around and whatnot. So we actually do that here 3 times. We do it in the spring just to make sure all the hives are equal in basically brood strength, getting ready for the harvest. And then what we'll do in the fall is we'll do the same thing. We try to get the brood equalized. So if you do have a weaker colony that might be hit by a like a cold snap, we'll be moving some brood over there. And then usually at the end of February and March, beginning of March, when we still have snow on the ground, it's about 30 degrees or something like that, we open up the hives and take a look to see what stores they have up there. And if one is just really lacking, we'll pull some frames of honey. Yeah, so we're doing a resource equalization in for the third one.
I pulled some in. I did that this last week, so now I'm just going to kind of let them roll. By the end of this month, I should have a lot of
hey, Kitty.
Knock on wood. I should have a lot of capped brood if everything goes as planned.
Yeah, the brass one. Yeah, it looks nice. Tex was just saying he has a hard time getting used to it, but I was so intrigued by that doggone thing that I just and somebody correct me if I got it wrong, but the German tool is basically a dental pick.
Yeah, it looks like a dental.
Thank you. Okay, I was in that ballpark.
What's the one? It's like a bamboo plunger. Is that
That's the Chinese?
Is it? Okay. All right.
When you think bamboo, think Chinese.
Yeah. Okay. What has anybody ever used those? How do you guys like those?
Most people use those, is what it seems like.
Really?
Yeah, they're cheap. They're real inexpensive to buy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've seen them work. I've seen guys do them on videos, and they just they pick it up like the bamboo.
Oh, it's marvelous.
Yeah, it's paper thin. So it scoops it up, and you just plunge it when you put it.
Different brass one. I think the German is. Yeah, the German is stainless, sir, Tex. The problem with the Chinese ones from everybody that that I've talked to, is that you have to ferret through them. You go ahead and buy yourself like 20, 30, 40 of them or something like that. And figure out which one's actually good.
Works the best.
Them down.
Okay.
Sand them down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Clueless, my mentor, dude. I get you. I'm with you there, dude. People want the ag exemptions because they're huge in Texas, dude.
How big are they, by the way?
Dude, you're talking 30, 40,000 a year, man.
So
it's a lot, dude.
Be?
It depends on the property size too. It depends on the property size.
I wonder what the mill rate decrease is what I should say.
Oh, I'd have to double check at the county appraisal district, but I know I checked. What I found out recently here in Texas, where I live, you have to have one colony for 3 years, but by the end of the 3 years, you need to have 4 colonies.
That you could have that at the end of the first year if you had one strong colony that you had.
Yeah, and then you can. They're big. I have a out yard that I'm gonna do an ag exemption for. I put 4 colonies on her yard. She's gonna have to wait a while, but she'll get the exemption eventually. And then I'd like to split bees off of my gear and then take them over to her yard, you know, and have 2 backup. I mean, I'd have 2 yards. That'd be perfect, you know. She'd be getting the ag exemption. I'd have spare bees if necessary, and same with my yard. Say I had a problem with those bees over there, I could bring some from my yard because I'd like to get stock out of my yard over into her yard because these bees are pretty strong. So if I can keep them, you know, the genetics the same and maybe get some more bees around here in the area, man, that'd be nice because they're here.
Oh yeah, just go for it. But please, you run into a hot hive, cull it.
Break it down.
Don't mess around with it.
Yeah, that's what my mentor told me too, Mike. He was like, dude, if you run into a hot hive, he told me, he's like, this is how you break down an Africanized hive. Is what you do is you go in there, you take that queen and you kill her. And he's like, you cut her into different pieces, man. And you throw her in that box. And he's like, you let them sweat it out for a few days. He's like, and you go in there, cut out all the drone brood, right?
Oh, thank you. I was going to ask about the drone.
Yeah. He's all, no, he's all, because the drones is what's carrying the sperm, right? He's all, that's the genetics. He's all, dude, that's where you kill that line. Then he's like, he's like, it takes time to cull an Africanized colony, but you can do it. He's like, I've done it, but it took a few weeks, man. He said it took him a while. He's like, I had this colony that was going in and out of every box in my yard trying to find space to live. And he's like, I had to kill the queen. And he's like, eventually they took to a box, man. And they finally, and he's like, they were hot rods, man.
Oh yeah, and you know, that's another argument for actually running those green drone frames. You know,
I have them, but are you putting them on the second frame in, or where are you putting them? Because they're not drawing them out
outside. I mean, it varies. It depends what kind of year it is. You know, if it's a really weak hive and you want to get them going right away, you put a second one. If it's a really strong one, I put them on the outside. And towards the end of winter, when they're just shoving honey in there to store, I leave them on the outside. And I don't know if this is right, but I wrote to Frederick Dunn. I said, well, what side do you put them on? And he said, you want to put them on the west side, basically, the afternoon. So, you know, I haven't asked Bob Binney about that, which would be the final word. So, but the other part of it is, I'll just keep going on this again, because it's like my rant about beekeeping is regional, right?
Yeah.
But the green drone frames, the other thing it does is it just beautifies the rest of your frames. You're not ending up with those doggone drones, you know, nuggets going out. And when you go to pull your frames in and out, you're a little less likely to roll bees, or more importantly, the queen.
Really? Okay.
See, that's something that I didn't pay attention to when I first started. And I knew it, but I just didn't pay attention to it. Right? Yeah. It's one of those things where they told you, and you start to make splits, and you're like, well, damn it! No wonder they're not laying any brood. All the comb I gave them is old honeycomb, and the cell's too big for them, right? So you don't really necessarily have a drone layer. Just all of her comb is drone.
Oh, no kidding.
So you have to make sure that you're when you're selecting that comb, that you're giving her the appropriate size cell to work with. You know.
Yeah. And Tex brought up a really good point. If you're going in your hives and they're consistently hot and it's 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you deserve it.
Yeah.
You're getting all the old forager bees done. And what do we call that? Bob Binney called that the bewitching hour, you know?
Yeah. My mentor told me, he's all, man, bees send out a pheromone. He's like, they know when their box is open. He's like, you'll have bees coming down. He's like, you'll see them dropping in from up top. And he's like, they know when their box is open.
I wonder what the heck that's about.
The pheromone.
I've run into that. We used to do that as kind of a trick, bringing visitors over. You'd go open up the hive and then stand in front of the hive, you know, while we're going through it, and tell them, watch all the bees, because they'll go in a holding pattern over you.
Yep.
And then the minute you step aside and put the lid on, they all line up and go in there.
We did that the other day at Sam's house.
That's fun.
And we didn't even realize we were doing it. We were just talking. I was showing them how to do a short, right?
Yeah.
And I looked And we were not like right in front of the colony. We were back probably 6-7 feet, and they would not fly around him. They were just behind him, going crazy back and forth. They're like, "Hey, you're in our way, dude," and then moved out the way, and they went straight to the colony as fast as they could, you know.
And when you see the look on people's faces when they actually do what you just told them, it's priceless.
And I mean, that's how keyed in they are to their location. They just know this is our path, and we got to go through straight right here.
John told me, he's like, you want to watch something really cool? He's like, go outside when there's a storm about to roll in, about 20 minutes before like it starts raining or storming. He's like, you'll see all your bees come bombing in. He's like, usually just before it rains. He's like, go outside and stand in your bee yard. Yeah, he's like, go outside and stand in your bee yard just before it rains. And he's like, watch all your bees just dive bomb on in and back in your box. He's like, it's the coolest thing ever, man.
You can also, if you got smaller colonies, you can kind of tell which way the sun's, well, I guess which way the sun comes up over the colony, because that's the side of the box that their brood will be on, the one that's getting the sun the earliest, right? They're
my box, yep,
to that one side, you know.
That's where my brood chamber is located in my box, is to the left side. That's what I was saying in my last video. Is like that brood chamber, when I looked down in it, it was situated like 2 frames over from the left side of the box. And then it had it all glued together.
And I saw an interesting video. I think it was James. Was it James? No, it might have. I've watched so many videos lately, but somebody is taking their medium supers at the end of the year, right? Their comb, and instead of taking it inside to store it, he puts it underneath the brood chamber, and it acts like a slatted rack. So he'll lift his brood chamber up.
No, I got the point, but
and he puts that underneath it, like under supers his brood box, and raises that box up. And then it's like a slatted rack underneath his colony now, because he's got combs hanging underneath it.
So why
that's friggin' smart.
Why are they doing that?
Well, the bees are going to take care of the comb first off, and then secondly, it acts like a slatted.
Clean it up.
It acts like a slatted rack for his colony.
So I've got a real problem with that. I love slatted racks, but the problem I have with it is that when I'm going through hives in the spring, when they're getting really strong and I'm just trying to hold the wheels on, I like to be able to tilt the bottom board and see how many like queen cells are in there. A quick check.
Well, I mean, in the spring he'll take it back off again, right? But
I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah, but he's just using it for the winter, so he doesn't have to store all of his boxes in.
Oh, Bobby, I'm sorry, I totally missed that. I'm sorry.
But but I know who it was. It was that it was a bee club. You know what? I got it in my Gmail here. I'll tell you. The video is it's a guy. Oh, am I gonna have to open it up? Let me see.
Once again, Spanky, like the bees.
It's the Philly Bee Guild. And the guy's name is Keith Jardine. And he was talking about it on his swarm control Demarys with his
sweet Harlan honeybees. What's up, man? Good to see
you.
Happy New Year.
Sweet Harlan, nice to have you in there.
Good to have you.
From Harlan, Kentucky.
Where is that?
Isn't Harlan, wasn't that? No, that was Harper.
I wonder what direction from Nashville that is. That's my only reference point, and I'm so embarrassed to say that.
Probably east, because Nashville's on the west side of Tennessee anyway, right? So.
Yeah, I'm just bringing up the map here so I can. Oh man, there's a confluence of there's several wonderful rivers there. I'm willing to. Yeah, it's northeast of Millsboro.
Nice. So you got good water source, man. Nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
I mean, that's
critical.
That's the thing of beauty there.
Yeah, critical, man.
So he's not far from the hive life right there, southeast Kentucky.
No, he's north by northeast of Knoxville. And,
hey, Sweet Harlan, if you're going to hive life, look us up, man. I'll be over at horizontal bees, and which is right next to the dirt roosters booth. So I'll be in those two areas right there. Matter of fact, Randy is such a good guy. You know, it's one thing. I know he's a busy guy. It's one thing when you text back and forth or something. But yesterday, he just randomly just called me just to talk. Hey, man, how's it going? What's going on? What you doing today? You know?
Was he in a, wait a sec, Bob. Was he in a drive-through?
No, he wasn't. No.
You know, I had to make that joke. I'm sorry. I just love that when he joins us. Yeah, I just went through and got a, you know, like a
you know what?
Subway.
That would be a great video for me and Dirt Rooster to ride around Sevierville. Just going through drive-throughs.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Just going through. Hey, Dirt Rooster, let's go to some drive-throughs. And we'll just be live and going through. All right, we're at this place. We're at that place.
That would be marvelous.
It'd be like at least 5 drive-throughs, right?
Oh, what a wonderful thing. Yeah, I see Sweet Harlan's got a Facebook page. Just maybe I missed it on YouTube. Here we go. Sweet Harlan Honeybees. I will put the link up to their channel there. Oh, you don't have anything up there. Okay, that's fine. But you can find them on. I was just kind of curious because, and I apologize. I'm giving somebody a little bit of airtime here that's brand new. But you know something?
Oh, you're good.
Just try and bring everybody on.
Hop on in, man. It's an open chat, man. I don't care.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's open chat, man. I pinned the link in the comment section.
If you see any of this stuff at the show, I make it.
Right. Yeah, Bob Walker makes it.
So, or
he actually milks the queens to get that stuff too.
He works his ass off for it. Yeah.
Actually, I just bought a new pneumatic queen bee milker. You know, it's hard to get it on their little udders though, but you know, because they're not very patient. I gotta put them in a yoke. I gotta put them in a yoke and close it on the little queen bee's neck to hook them up.
Oh, this is no judgment here, Sweet Harlan. If anybody judges you here, they just get kicked.
Nah, bro.
Yeah,
there's no judgment at all, bro.
Yeah.
We just enjoy talking bees, and it doesn't matter if you got no hive. Matter of fact, when Rich started coming on live streams with us, he had no bees.
I had 0 bees.
0 bees.
I was in here just soaking up the knowledge, man.
0 bees given.
It was like, it was 0 bees given. Yeah, now I have 1 box sitting out in my yard that's a feral colony that it got out on, and it's doing really
by the way, I'm still waiting for you to try and work those hives in that little teeny bear trap electric guard you put out.
Hey, so let's ask Mike. So I gave you some advice yesterday. I don't know if you saw did you see his video when Mike, did you see Rich's video when he
actually oddly enough I have it queued up here. I haven't watched it. No, sorry.
Okay, so he was going through the colony and looking at it, and I gave him some advice of what I would do.
What was going on?
Well, I mean, most of the bees are in the bottom box, right, Rich?
Yep.
And he's got,
and I have an extra box on top.
Yep, and it's got some square comb that's been rubber banded in it from the cutout.
Yep.
And I recommended for him to take that middle box off and condense them down to the 1 box, and then put the feeder shim back on it. Just to make that colony feel as condensed as they could be, to start drawing out comb and stuff when they start doing that it just makes it easier on them, less space to manage for them. And you had the pollen patty up over top of on
the sugar shim.
On top of the sugar shim.
Yeah.
So I recommended he took the pollen patty and put it underneath the sugar shim, maybe a little bit forward of the colony. Not right over the brood, but like a little bit up, so they still have that central to get to the sugar. And I mean, that's what I would do personally, but I said, you do you, bro.
I think it depends. Again, I think just totally regional. I mean, if you're getting low temperatures in the evenings of 30, 40 degrees, no, leave them alone. They'll be fine.
The thing is, there's no bees in that middle box, really, right? So you're actually condensing that heat bubble down. So that would actually help them in that, to condense them down as well.
Well, wait a second. There were 3 boxes?
No, there's 2. I got 2 boxes stacked.
But the bees are in the bottom box.
Yeah, but the bees
That's
are all
okay. That's typical. That's typical. I'll have them here in the bottom box.
Right, but he doesn't have like a box of stores in between them. They got to go through that box to get to the sugar shell that's above it. So I would say
the top box was empty. Didn't have any stores in it at all.
No, not really.
No, I took all the stores from the cutout and put them in the bottom box.
No. Bobby's right. Take it off.
Take it off. Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing in there whatsoever. Just take it off.
Okay. All right. I was worried about them coming out in spring and blowing up and swarming on me right away, and that's what I don't want to happen.
They'll be drawing comb out and everything as soon as the flow starts. They'll start.
This is something. If I was going to give anybody some really good, simple tips, there's so many, right? But go through your doggone boxes. Try and get used to setting yourself on a time schedule to go through them
every 10 days.
You know, and it depends on what time of year it is too.
Yeah.
But get used to running through your even if you're just tipping the boxes to look at the frames, read the frames on the bottom. Mm-hmm. That's a quick way to do it. But
that'll also let you take that wacky comb that's in the top box.
Yeah.
And get rid of that if there is any wacky comb. Like you said, some of the frames were stuck together. I don't know.
Yeah. On the far right side of the box, if I go in it from the back side, I'm looking to the far right. It's 3. Okay. It's 3 frames of comb that's just crap comb. It's old, dark brown.
Take it out. Put it in a swarm trap.
Okay. All right. That's what I'll do.
You know, the older and the blacker the comb, put it in a swarm trap.
Okay. Yeah, and it's old and dark and dirty like that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because even I've taken some of that comb and like melted it down in the solar wax melter, and very little wax actually comes off of that comb.
Oh, it's amazing.
Very little wax.
Really?
You end up with so much dirt.
Yeah.
Or
dirt,
what's it called? I always get this wrong. Scrum or scrub. Or,
yeah, it's like scrum or something.
We call it slum gum.
Slum gum.
See, I always get it screwed up with rugby. I apologize.
Yeah, that's what everybody tells me now. Like, keep that wax and just throw a big old chunk of it in your swarm trap, man. That's it.
I know it must drive you guys crazy up north when we're down here and you're seeing us on January 1st going through hive inspections. And you guys are like, man, I still got 3 months.
No, not at all. Not at all. I really appreciate all you guys putting that stuff up because it just, makes us happy. But right now we're just building equipment and, getting everything ready. This is our downtime, and you might as well relax some too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does piss me off a little bit, Bob. By the way, that package I sent you, the one that's ticking, don't put it in water.
Do it? Don't put it in water. Let it go ahead and explode. So what Larimore said, I'm back. Repeat the wacky comb thing.
Hey, you know what? Houston told me to throw that slum gum in your boxes too, man. He said that stuff works just as good as your swarm commander. Dude.
I have heard better,
dude. He's like, that
and
black
stuff.
Take
that off and smell it. Yeah, by all means, take a chunk of that and put it in the back corner of the box.
Yep, exactly what he said. He said, break you a corner off and throw it in the back.
Slum gum. I will never remember that. I'm still gonna think,
I think, like I was saying, people ask about the swarm lure, and I say, well, there's multiple things that in a swarm trap that attract bees. The lure is only to get them to find that box. Once they find that box, then they're going to determine if it's the best size for them.
Yeah.
If it's, if, hey, this old comb in here and the propolis, all that stuff helps.
Yeah. Yeah. And Philip, you know what, brother? That's why I didn't want to mess with my brood chamber, man, because I'm so scared. Because I was listening to a Heroes to Hives video the other day, like beekeeping is the most difficult in animal husbandry. You can't make a mistake this time of the season, right?
Oh, I see what you're getting at.
You make a mistake with a cow, it's like, okay, your cow gets sick. It's like you don't squash a cow, but you can damn sure squash a bee real quick, right? In a split second, you kill your bee. Late in December, you're out of queen, man. And that's exactly where I was at, Philip. It's like I know the brood chamber is so delicate, man. And I know what I have to do when I go in there in the spring, and I have to cut the brood chamber apart to peel it apart to see what they're doing.
Well, but spring. Oh gosh, I'm going to say some controversial stuff right now.
Go for it.
So
spill it. Dude.
So spring. What is spring, right? Spring for you, Mike, is a different season than spring is for us here in South Carolina, right?
Absolutely.
So if you're trying to get ready for spring and have your boxes situated for March 1st, right? Yeah, right now is maybe a little bit early, but we get mid 70s days. And when that propolis warms up just a little bit and you stick those frames right back in there, if the bees are out flying like they are in my yard, I don't feel bad at all. Not 1 second. I'll work it just like any other if it was 70 degrees at your place, Mike, you'd be like, it's springtime, it's summer. You know, you'd be working your bees, right? 70 degrees.
Yeah.
So what makes 70 degrees where you're at and 70 degrees where I'm at? What makes it different? Just the month it's in? I mean, I understand they don't have the forage and stuff, but you would still be careful with your bees. You would still, everything would be the same, right? Yeah. So I don't feel bad when it's 70 degrees out and I'm going through a colony.
No.
I mean, now, again, everybody do your bees your own way, you know, however you want to do it. But me personally, if they're out flying, I don't feel bad.
No. You know, and it really, you know, it depends upon, you know, I've had some years here where they had so much pussy willow pollen coming in that they were just.
That is true.
I mean, I had to go through the boxes just to make sure they didn't get pollen down in the second weekend of March.
See, and this is my first season still. I don't know what this colony is capable of yet.
Right.
You know, I pulled them out of a cutout. These could be firecrackers, man, and they could go out and I don't know, man. And I'm still learning like the local plant life around here where I live to see what they're going to be bringing in.
How many frames of actual bees do you think you have? I mean, I couldn't see the cluster like in between the frames from your video.
About 5 or 6.
Okay, well that's a decent size for a 10 frame box, you know.
Yeah, 5 or 6
frames.
They're looking pretty strong too. And I've been feeding them outside. I have a liquid feeder just right here, really on the other outside of the house here. But I just been feeding them out in the yard just to keep them happy. Maybe help whatever, you know, help them go to producing wax.
Yeah, I see your point with that, Philip. I do have more than one, so I do have some resources if I need to.
Yeah. See, and that's my issue right now too, Philip. Is my bees don't have any damn resources, man. They have what I took the cut out with, man, and that's something I'm trying to learn. Is I'd like to have a yard where it's a resource yard where all they're doing is building resources, wax, comb, you know, stuff like that. That I would like to have a resource yard for that reason, because what's the most important aspect of a beehive is the wax, right? Without the wax, they don't survive.
And see, that's what I've been fighting. That's been my biggest thing with my expansion, right? Is having the comb. And we've talked about that. It's always for me, it's always, well, if I got frames, I don't have comb. Then I need the comb to build up. So that's kind of that's where I'm at too, man. I don't think you ever outgrow that, because if you're in that expansion phase, you're always trying to grow more comb, right?
Yeah.
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 And I'm terrible, dude. I'll be the first one to say I'm terrible about my comb after I pull it out of a colony. After, like, if I take comb out, I'm terrible on keeping that, because I don't really have the space at the moment to stack all my boxes inside and to keep that like that. So that's why you see so many boxes with the lids off and the sun just shining in the comb, is to try to keep the creeping out of it, right? Yeah. You know.
I need to inject something here to Philip. It's kind of funny because he was putting the Poly Sky. This is not doing good for me tonight. Basically, the
early onset Alzheimer's, but
I wish I could blame it on that. No, we had him running really early here today. I'm running on another 3 hours of sleep again. Lee can relate to that. No, the press board, the polysio or whatever it is, it loses its insulation. It starts losing the gases in there, starts to solidify. So at about 50 degrees, it stops working. And I mentioned that to Philip there, and he put one quip back to me. He says, "I'm in Texas," and I wrote back, "I'm sorry." Why the hell did I bother? I just like, okay.
You know, those things. The more and more. Man, the more and more I've been using this woodenware down here, the more and more.
Thank you, Philip.
I want to get polystyrene hives. I'm just, they're just not, I mean, you would think they would be cheaper, you know, but they're not. But if they last longer and they actually do a better job, then I'm all for it, you know.
Oh, hold up. Hey, this is Sweet Harlan's first chat.
What?
It's my first time in here. Where are you from? Texas. Home Texas, Sweet Harlan.
I'm in South Carolina, and Mike's in the frozen.
Why don't y'all drop your states in here, man? Let's see where everybody's from. Drop your states in here. Drop your states in here, man.
And we do you don't have our titles up on our screen here. I don't know what's up with that, but
Colorado, Texas.
But we do bee chats. We got a Wednesday or Tuesday night bee chat that Lee and I do.
Oh.
You might have to take the comment down. Maybe if the comment's down, it shows. I don't know. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, when the comments are down.
Carolina, Kentucky.
And
LaGrange. Where's LaGrange? What part of Canada is he in?
I can't. Quebec, I think. Quebec.
No. North Carolina.
South Carolina, nice, man. Right on. Tell me where you're watching from. Quickly. Tell me where you're watching from.
There it is.
Oh, right on.
And
right on.
And Lee and I do a Tuesday night stream, and then there's the stream team that's on Wednesday night, and the Hillbilly Beekeepers on Thursday night, and then Harley did his first live stream on Saturday, and we went for 6 hours.
Nice. Yeah, I think I'll start doing live stream on Monday nights, man. Why not? As well.
It was a what you call it, the New Year's Eve stream, so we were kind of.
I missed that. That went on for 6 hours.
Oh yeah, and we had people from Charlie's local beekeeping club was coming in there.
Oh, and wonderful! Yeah, I saw there was a whole bunch of folk in there that I've never seen.
Really nice guy named James. What's James's name? James. He's from Canada as well. Let me see if I can find his channel. He's one of Ian Stepler's buddies.
It's like 7-Eleven, Larimore Farms. We're not always doing business, but we're always open.
We're always open.
Flower Street, good to see you, Brian. How's it going? Good to see you.
So how do you guys feel your well, you haven't treated have you OA'd your colony there, Rich?
I haven't even checked them, man. I haven't checked them. That's one thing I got to do because I don't know what the varroa load is. It could be high for all I know. I hope not. They've been doing that. Is a feral colony that's been living on their own for the last 5 or 6 years. Is what I know. Maybe
James
longer.
McNally. That's a James McNally. So follow James McNally, man. He does a lot of interesting stuff too on his channel. He's a Canadian beekeeper, but he's like in the far west coast. Or he's mountain time zone, but he's west of Ian.
Yeah,
Here he is.
And he came on, super nice guy. He makes these little grafting tables too to set your frame on to graft out of.
Yeah, he's kind of backed off on that because he's gotten so overloaded and prices have gone up. He's a pretty skilled precision woodworker.
Yeah, and he's a newer beekeeper, but he is like 75 colonies, I think, right now.
Nice.
Something like that, yeah.
I don't know if I want to work that hard.
Well, he's trying to make it his profession, like Ian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think if I could keep bees and make enough money to sustain my whole year, then. Mike, I need 30 grams of propolis.
You know something? The only place that I sell it is to a traditional Chinese medical thing. So I've got no reference as to what the real life sale of propolis is. So
let's make a propolis deal.
Make a propolis deal.
Actually, I have a chunk about yay big sitting in a glass jar right on my counter.
I can probably scrape them out of my colonies, no problem.
Yeah.
I need a QP of propolis, man.
By the way, did you guys see what Bob Binney's doing with his propolis?
No.
They put it in their soap.
$20 a pound. For bee propolis.
I have seen it go for $20 a gram too. I mean, it depends on your market and who you're going to go to. And
geez, y'all must have cracked propolis for $20 a gram.
Yeah.
It says it will vary on region.
Yeah, and then
how clean it is.
The rest of it, DC. Yeah. But yeah, Texas beekeeping is in. I think it's fairly close to Guam. Should have said something sooner, James. I've containers of propolis would add some to your package. Yeah, and Troy actually makes a lot of tinctures.
Hey, did you? Nice. Speaking of which, did you see the latest model that Spanky sent me?
No, it's a multicolored one.
It's an AZ hive.
Get out of here,
dude! That's legit. That. What?
Even strapped it to a little tiny wooden pallet.
No way! Look at it.
Spanky, you just keep going, brother. I mean, young man, you're just a hoot.
You sell an indica propolis, huh? Really?
I wish he would.
I might have to hit you up on that.
I wish he would start selling some of these. I feel bad that he's sending me all this stuff for free. But this is legit, dude. Look. The frames slide out.
Dude, that's so cool.
He's even got the little gaps in the corners for the bees to go through.
That's so rad.
That's really clever. And I love the colors that he does too. I mean, I really do. He's
dude, that's legit, Spanky.
It's got magnets on everything, like these little covers magnet in, so you don't have to worry about everything falling over.
So is that that's an actual hive style, huh?
Oh yeah, Slovenian hive.
Rich, do yourself a favor and look up beekeeping in Switzerland, because they actually have like mini chalet buildings with all the hives built into them.
Yeah.
And then the guys actually don't have smokers. They have the traditional alpine pipes with like a diverter tube on it. So you can blow smoke.
Hey, Brian.
Tobacco smoke in.
Come join us, Brian.
Where did Brian go? Someone else propolis for 50. Thank you, Tex. Yeah, if you've got propolis, my goodness.
I'll have it in the spring when I go cleaning all my bee boxes off, because I got my frames. I've got it looks like chewing gum.
Yeah,
like so much in there that it's like chewing gum.
Yeah, the chunk that I've gotten here is it's almost like a gray, and it's soft and chewy. They built it up immediately underneath the feeder bucket and closed that doggone 51 millimeter hole shut with propolis. Hey. I've never seen that before. I looked at that and I thought,
they're like, get out of here.
What is going on here?
My last video was showing I had those boxes, like a stack of boxes that weren't lined up.
Yeah.
And they made it looked like a damn half-inch weld of propolis along the whole seam, except for like an inch, 1 inch.
No kidding.
And it was pretty cool.
Grab that chunk here real quick. You guys just got to see the color. It's okay.
Crazy expensive. I need to save it. But it, like in the summertime, it's just all gooey. And some lady asked if I had 50 pounds of propolis to sell.
My only problem with
propolis traps on
propolis is that I like to know what the heck they're putting in for the chemicals in their hive. So it's a little chunk here glued in there pretty good.
Mine is like gray. It looks like caulk almost.
Actually, this is
but I think mine is primarily off of pine sap.
And there's a little bit of irony there, because pine sap has got the best antiviral and antibacterial thing. So
does it really? The pine sap does.
Okay. Yeah, the pines, conifers do.
Okay.
Actually, this is not the one I was thinking of. This is just a regular dark, but the other one was
How do you clean that?
What's that?
How do you clean it? I mean, because like if you're scraping it off and there's like wood bits or something in it, how do you clean it off?
Well, Flower just threw something up there. Freeze the propolis and the powder and put it in a coffee grinder. I don't know. What I do is I take my propolis traps off and I put them in a garbage bag and I put them right in the freezer and leave them in there until they get frosted, and then take them out and just crack them, put them all in a cookie tray. And I don't clean anything. I just leave it in chunks.
See, that's why Brian's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to using this stuff for retail, because his primary business is specialty honey products and soaps and balms and
so
stuff.
Brian, okay, so the propolis sinks. Okay, I read my mind. Thank you. In my head.
But I think that depends on where you get it from, because mine smells like pine sap.
No, and
dude, that's so cool, Brian. Like, you just educated everybody on how to purify propolis. Freeze it.
Yeah.
Put it in a coffee grinder.
In Minnesota, the most of the propolis we get is from cottonwoods. Just for whatever reason, the bees here prefer using cottonwoods. They use it over pine trees. But yeah, James, my friend Troy, he just breaks it up and puts it in Everclear and makes a tincture out of it.
That's why I heard you use straight grain alcohol.
Well, I guess you could. Yep. Well, no, that'd take a long time if you put it in alcohol and then strained it, right, to get any bits out of it.
I think he leaves it in that jar for several months, and then he pours it off.
What would you recommend?
Every now and then he goes in there and shakes them all up, so.
What would you recommend for making a tincture, Brian, if you were going to do a propolis tincture?
Yeah, just honestly, Everclear or something like that.
Yeah, so he's probably getting the same thing I am right there, right? Piney scent.
Yeah.
So
Marla Spivak, yeah, she does have a ton of propolis info, and actually she is that way from me down at the University Ag campus. So we do mess back and forth, but that's right.
Marla Spivak, okay.
Cottonwood
resource.
And something, this is really kind of funny because with just the sheer number of pine trees we have here, I mean, that's what the peninsula around the lake is known for, all these old pine trees. And we've got one giant cottonwood, and it happens to be right at the end of my yard. I mean, this thing is literally about 12 feet around.
Man, that's a beast.
It's just, it's pretty crazy. When that thing lets loose, it looks like it's snowing. But yeah, about 4 weeks in grain alcohol. Thanks, Tex. I was waiting for somebody to shut me up about that. Yeah, you got to freeze it. If you don't put it in a freezer that's 20 below, you're not really going to get it as best you can. That's just my opinion of it. It just cracks off better. And by the way, don't try and clean your propolis straps. Just crack off what you can, and then don't screw around with it. Don't try and, clear all the little grooves out. Just take it, crack it into a cake pan or something like that. Put it right back on the hive once it warms up, depending on how hot you are. So.
Okay. Honeystead, okay. Honeystead has a great video on how to make propolis tincture.
Fantastic.
Right, cool.
Of course you would. Thanks, brother. Kaylee would have that.
Yeah, they're into tinctures and stuff in the apothecary. Yeah, they're awesome, man.
So it's just just grand stuff, and Bob's just. I thought it was so interesting though that Bob Binney is actually putting it in his soaps that they make.
Why not?
And he hadn't talked to anybody about that, and somebody was just asking him, "What are you doing with your propolis?" And he just happened to mention it. We take all the propolis from our traps, we put in our soaps. The other stuff, my crew and I chew. And I think he said something like, "We don't ever get sick."
They just chew it like gum?
Yeah.
Has it ever been tested for cancer, cancer healing properties or anything like that? Has there ever been any medical tests with bee propolis as far as medical necessity, man?
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I don't know anything about wild gene treatment for it. The only thing I know about it, Rich, is the heavy viral and antibacterial properties of it.
Okay.
As far as the cross-reference to other things,
yeah,
that's a really good question.
I'm curious, how far the research has gone into it. Has it ever really been put under the microscope and examined and applied to different? I don't know, man. Different ailments, ailments across the board, and just.
Larry Moore, I have chewed pine sap many times, accidentally and on purpose. I was all over my.
Shampoo. Okay. Nice.
Yeah. No
right.
kidding.
Okay.
That's
That
cool,
is
man.
really interesting.
That's
shampoo.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It'll stick to your teeth. Propolis times I specs this. Why is better than ours?
Yeah, there's a lot of cedar around here. I don't know where they're gonna pull propolis from around here, man. It's probably the cedar, I'm guessing.
Well, let me ask you something here. When you go to pull your frames out of your hive, do they come out easier, or do you have to break them loose?
Right now, there hasn't really been much. They're real easy to pull apart.
Your mentors, when you're going through hives with him,
his are a little tacky.
Yeah.
so they are getting it someplace.
Yeah, they're getting
Any
some.
sapping trees will probably do it for them.
Yeah.
Prostate and colon cancer. Yeah, could be.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Evergreen and maple are mine. Okay. That would, again, that's back to the regional thing.
Yeah.
I think I actually might have the exception here too, by the way, as far as despite having the giant cottonwood here, and it does have cracks in it, because it's something that big, it's literally 8 stories tall. But we have so many pine trees here that just that percentage, they're gonna mix the two. So who knows what's in mine? I don't. Vital bead product may become beneficial against prostate and colon cancer, amongst others.
Yep.
There's got to be some more esoteric stuff out. And again, this is the kind of stuff that they can't make money off of.
Right.
Like a fake jab shot. There's not money to be made on it. And
maybe because nobody's done enough research into it, just blew it off and doesn't want to dedicate the time. My opinion.
Yeah. Well, there's that too. There's that, but something. Actually, what would be the thing to look at is that what were the ancient Greeks using it for?
Yeah.
And I have seen mention of propolis being used then. DC, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Not so much makes you sick. By weight, 1 ounce of propolis mixed with. Oh, that's that thick. Interesting. Okay.
But he uses it with a local distillery, so he's cross-marketing with the local distillery for his product.
Hey,
why not?
That's fine. I'm going to do the same.
He's got smooth shade.
Propolis used in mummification.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Mummification. Yeah.
Okay.
Forgot about that. Thank you.
God, they were smart. They're like, "Hey, this is a good preservative. We're gonna go ahead and use it."
No.
But how many bodies did they have to try first before they're like, you know what, just use propolis?
4.
It's like,
4.
Well, that was too rotted. No.
Look at the hieroglyphs.
Yeah.
It's 4.
Yeah. You know what? Clueless, my mentor told me I should be in them every 10 days, and I haven't been in them every 10 days, just because we're in winter time right now.
On what time of year it is.
Yeah, I've been taking it easy right now. I've been working my business. I've been working.
Why 10 days?
Why? Because 12 days is when they'll start building a swarm cell. Or 12 days, 12.
But if you have a really strong flow going on, they're not going to swarm on you.
No, okay. Yeah, we've had crap flows though recently, so.
Yeah. Come on.
But yeah, I just went in them yesterday, man, and I hadn't been in them in a few weeks, like for sure. Like probably since I put that sugar shim on, man.
Wow. So is anybody that's watching, any of you guys viewers, are any of you heading to Tennessee? Bob is.
Brian from Flower Street is.
Yeah, Brian is going?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Propolis and mouse. I've actually seen that too. That's a freak show.
Yeah.
You got to pull the mouse out and it's basically entombed in a sheath of propolis.
My mentor said he's seen that too before.
Have you ever seen them start to draw wax down on an inner cover? And I've got a philosophy on that though.
What's that?
Because it's raised up from the other combs, right? And I think that inner cover, that they're using that to corral and encapsulate beetles as well in the inner cover.
Yeah, no, you'll see that a lot. It's pretty funny.
DC, I was watching something historic, and I think the clay tubes were used in like Israel or something, dude. I think that's where the clay tubes some scientists had unearthed the clay tubes in Israel somewhere, man.
That's a
Thousands of
different
years
kind
old.
of bee. That's not a honeybee.
I know there's some down in South America that are the stingless bees that use tubes, but their tubes are tiny.
Yeah, Humberto's talked about that, but the ones you're specifically talking about in the clay tubes in Israel,
Carpenter bees here. I know they use carpenter bees.
They're really interesting. They're
Which
also very social to human beings too, which is kind of freaky.
So the ones in Israel, you said?
Israel, and I've seen them a lot in gardens in the British Isles.
Okay. Are they Apis bluff, or are they different?
No.
Oh, okay.
I forget what kind of bee they are, but it's not a honeybee. It's not a honeybee. And the funny thing is that if you start filming them, and I've seen this in 3 different occasions, not me, but you get up really close, is that they get used to. Mm-hmm. And you can get that lens right up next to them, and they're just like, oh, okay, it's just the idiot with the big shiny glass thing.
Yeah.
They're very, very adaptable to people. So some place where clay tubes as nukes, honeybees. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Don't do that. It's either Turkey or Iran. It could be Egypt, but I don't think it is. I have seen that. And it's really interesting. Yeah, they take clay tiles about yay big. Not the little clay tubes I was thinking you were talking about. And
here we go. Found it.
Please. It's really interesting.
Found it.
And those guys are right up there in the face of the things. They must have some really gentle bees too. Thank you, Clueless.
There's no halfway with this. We finish what we started.
You gratuitous mud beehives, huh?
यहाँनिर गोबर रातो माटो अनि त्यो बोरा
Rich, go to about 4/5 of the way through it. Just go right.
They're just making beehives out of mud.
Is that too far?
Oh, that's okay. That's got nothing to do with it. No, they actually do have, and they use roofing tiles, basically the round roofing or water transport clay tiles. It's cool as crap, and they stack them up. This is just a clay beehive. That's not the tube.
That's not it. Those are bee nukes. They're making them out of clay, but that's cool. That's over in India. So they're clay. What is it?
It's like a clay water tube.
Clay tube bee.
Yeah, that is really cool, isn't it, Dad?
Bee nuke.
Yeah,
they are. Like, check this out. Look what they're doing with this. Look at this. Look at that.
The turkey came up with turducken. No.
Look at that.
Let's see.
Just made an Adobe beehive.
Yeah,
actually, clay tube beehive. I would think. Maybe that's it.
I bet you that thing's well insulated. Earthen hive.
Yeah, it is in Egypt.
Clay tube bee nuke. Let's type Egypt. Let's narrow it.
That's where I've seen it. Now I'm trying to find an actual video of it. I ran into it. It was such an obscure thing. I found a picture of it.
And I follow some of those beekeeping channels over in the Middle East too, man. It's really cool to see how other people do beekeeping around the world, because it really is. It shows that everybody has a different style, a different method, and it really shows how there's really no right way to do it. So for anybody to say that you're doing it
okay, I just found one here. I found a picture of the doggone thing.
Oh, I'm trying to
Galway beekeepers. Trying to find something I can share that would actually make a lot of sense. Here's a guy that doing a whole bunch of them. This is really interesting. Innovative cooling installation flights for temples. Cooling installation fights. Oh, that's something else. Okay, here it is. I got it. They're basically, they call them skeps. What this person does Nope, that's not it. That's not it.
Oh, go back. That last thing you just showed had the
right here.
had a bunch of tubes at the top, like clay tubes.
Right here.
Those are skeps there.
Right here.
Yeah, that's the skep.
Is that them?
Those are clay skeps.
Okay, here we go.
That's not what they are.
That's not what they are?
No. Okay, I just found one here. Yeah, it is in Egypt.
What are they called?
So, in fact, I'll put up a link to the picture itself.
Oh, okay.
Actually, you know something? I guess it's just easier for me to share. How do I do that? Present.
Oh, I don't know if you'll be able to present from this end.
Okay, share screen. Here we go. Share screen and go to. There it is. Can you see that?
No, because
You'll have to add it in though. It should be on the bottom, like
hang on a second here.
When he shares it.
Window. Chrome tab. Let's try that one. Select a tab. Okay, here we go. I think there we go. See if this works for you. Okay, can you guys see that?
There we go. Okay, there we go.
So what they'll actually have is like a wall of these clay tubes.
Yeah, and that's okay. Okay, look at that.
But the ones that I've seen are actually basically water tube thingies, water pipes, just really big clay water pipes that they just take them, and it's really cool. But that video was so obscure. Bob, it's funny you should mention that because I've got or Rich, I've got a whole bunch of beekeepers in Malaysia and Turkey and whatnot that for whatever reason seem to think that I'm funny, so they subscribe to my channel. Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is with those, it really, some of these other beehives that you're seeing around the world shows you that bees will live just about anywhere.
It will. Somewhere that.
So, you know, we'll get picky about our boxes and everything. Like I do.
Yeah, it's got to be within 3/8 of 5/8 of, you know, and facing the east side. Yeah, okay.
It's got to have this perfect bee space, right?
Yeah.
And it's not always the case.
Yeah, no, they're gonna live wherever they want.
Yeah.
Okay,
Do you remember what?
You going tonight, bud?
Hey, let me present this real quick. Hang on.
Okay.
Let's see what I got here.
Indian designers. Maybe that was it. Oh, that's air conditioning. Okay, never mind.
Here we go.
I'll give up on that.
I think this is it right here. Yeah.
Just tapping them down.
There you go. Thank you. Well, that's going into a hollow tree, but they're using pipes, clay pipes, to do basically the same thing.
Yeah, using the same thing, and you see he's got all the rest of the colonies lined up along that the wall there. Look at it. Look at all those. Look at all those. Look, that's all bees. Look at that.
Isn't that wonderful? This
he's blowing it in. There's the pipe. Look.
I was wrong. Those aren't clay pipes. This is the video I saw. Those are hollow logs. I apologize.
Okay. It's similar setup though, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And the way that these guys, they're just working with these bees, taking them and shoving them right in there and whatnot. I mean, these guys have got some gentle bees. It's just absolutely fantastic. Yeah, all logs. Pretty cool.
Look at that. Look at that. It's crazy. It's so cool.
And then they just mud it up with a little bit of
isn't that wonderful?
clay.
DC, I got an offer to check out beekeepers apiary in Pakistan.
There you go.
You know,
the water.
Google, Philip, what is that? Google sultanas?
Yeah, it's sultanate. Is that what it was? Sultanas?
I'm going to do that right now. Oh, cooking. Mr. Fruity? What are those? Are those raisins? Oh, raisins and currants. Maybe we're not thinking of the same thing. I apologize.
They just use a couple bamboo sticks or sticks in there to give them something to draw wax from.
Yeah.
Something to draw off of.
Good point, Lee. But these guys, I just love what they're doing.
I know. Looking at this, this is awesome, right?
But now every time they do a hive inspection, or they don't inspect it until it's just time to harvest honey, I guess.
Yeah.
Smoking them out.
Yep. They're just going in there barehanded, no suits, no nothing.
Okay, so basically they're using that hollow log as a sideways horizontal skep. Just cutting them out there. Honey caramels today. Oh, don't. Oh man, that sounds
There
good.
you go. Yeah, they just put the sticks in there, huh?
Yeah, isn't that wonderful? I mean,
and again, it shows what you can do, like how you got a hollow log, man. Build you a skep.
Yeah.
Now, how do they keep those hollow logs from just rotting out, dude?
I would think once they get it propolized in there, man, that log ain't gonna rot out. Once they get that log all propolized in and sealed in.
Oh, yeah, DC, but those are vertical logs, hollow logs, if I'm not mistaken. The Japanese are.
Yeah. Yep.
So I just talked to a missionary in a church on Sunday. He was they've been in Malaysia for years, and I asked him, "What do you see for beekeepers there?" And he said, "Well, not beekeeping in the traditional sense." He says they're all tree climbers there, and apparently they're going after like big open air,
Nice.
Yeah, up in the limbs. Bob, they live in a desert. Yeah, I need a wood pile
here too, but they still you still think it would rot, right?
Yeah,
something.
I've watched some of those beekeepers over in like Thailand and stuff. Man, those guys, I don't know if they're getting the bees, but they're getting these hornets. No, they gotta be bees because they're getting the honey too, and they cook the larva and they eat it, man.
Oh,
yeah, it looks so good. It really does, man. It does. I can only imagine how sweet and crispy the little larva would be. I forget. It's these guys in Thailand, I think, and it shows them cut this huge chunk of wax out of this tree, man. And then they go through and they start cutting out the larva and they throw it right on a fire in a pan. They just start cooking it and start eating.
They caramelized the bee larva.
Yeah, it looks so good, dude.
Why not?
Yeah, man.
I'm watching a guy in Turkey burning out the inside of a log and doing okay.
Yeah.
Neat.
That's what I do with I burn the inside of my boxes, man. All my boxes are burned.
So I'm gonna run here, guys, but I just wanted to run through everybody. Everybody in the sidelines is what are you guys doing with your bees right now? Again, it's regional, but yeah, Lee, I gotta take off here too, brother. And drive safely. Okay.
Yeah, you be safe, man. Yeah, everybody that's going to Hive Life, man. Y'all be safe, man.
Yeah, I gotta
get there safe, man. Get there safe. Get there safe.
So
all right, guys. Well, I appreciate you. Thanks for having a live tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see y'all next week, man. I'll do another live. Yeah, man. Everybody. Hope everybody's bees are doing good. I know DC's having a tough time with his, man. So let's give his bees some good energy, man. I know. He said he had some. Yeah, he said he had some wet, cold nights, man. So, all right, snowbound. All right, your girls are snowbound. J&D. All right.
Just make sure you keep that entrance unblocked from snow.
Yep. Yeah.
So they can bring out the dead.
Yeah, Larimore, all that kind of good stuff.
Oh, they do it to big hornets and let the queen go to build a new colony and harvest the larva from. Okay, so it's the larva, Spanky. Okay, cool. All right.
All right, guys. Good night.
Y'all be safe, man. Happy New Year, everybody. You guys take care, everybody. Thanks for stopping in, and you guys be safe. Thank you.
All right. Later.
Thanks again, Rich.
See you guys. Thanks. Bye.
Everybody around.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.